The fact that there is this press briefing from Beijing, the first time that we've seen it since the handover, what signal do you get on what Beijing's going to do next?
I think Beijing's getting very concerned by now. I think they should have been concerned after the 1 million people came out marching on June 9th. But since then, they basically left Hong Kong government dealing with the issue by themselves. And I think our government had done a terrible job, events after events. And now the problem is getting to be, maybe in Beijing's view, the problem's too big for us to handle, and they might be giving some instruction. And personally, I hope they give some instruction that is sort of the softer line. But really, we won't know.
Do you think the issue has now, in fact, gotten too big for the Hong Kong government to handle, that it is, in fact, now Beijing's call?
Oh, definitely. Because our chief executive, Carrie Lam, she's a very capable person. But we all know she used to be a civil servant. And usually, they just carry out order. And all of a sudden, this becomes a political problem. The extradition bill originally started off with just sending a murderer back to Taiwan. But she's making a mountain out of a molehill. And now, events after events, there's so many dissatisfaction among the Hong Kong people, especially the young. I think she's having difficulty in governing Hong Kong right now.
Yeah, you wrote a post last week on Facebook saying that it's time for her to step down.
I've never said that before.
You never said that?
No, sorry, I never said that before, but now I'm saying
Yeah, I'm saying that you're saying that now. What's changed in your view? Will it change anything if she actually does resign?
Well, this is just a perception for the people. People think that if she steps down, someone new will come up and take over. Maybe nothing much will change, but at least the extradition bill is now sort of dead, the way she puts it, so we will not go ahead with that. But shall we have a thorough investigation? This is something that everyone in Hong Kong thinks we should. Not only investigate the police action against the protesters, but the whole event. And that, I think, will calm things down. But government right now is not willing to do anything. So the requests, the 5 requests from the people, they're not willing to meet any of them. And I think for a politician, you should meet at least 1 or 2 of the easier ones and let the people say, hey, calm down a bit, let's talk about it. Because seriously, we have never seen this before. Millions of people or hundreds of thousands for 8 consecutive weeks. And Hong Kong is not a problem. It's not a place with terrible problem. We have 3% unemployment. Our economic growth is okay. Everything's actually doing pretty well for Hong Kong. Our dollar is pegged to the US, so our economy is still doing strong.
James, just sticking to the economy, we've had increasing signs that the protests are having an impact, of course, particularly on the retail sector, the real estate sector as well. And we've had AmCham coming out with a statement earlier today pushing for a greater emphasis on trying to find a solution. So what do you define the economic impact as at the moment? Do you expect the business community to become more vocal on this issue?
I agree. But I think the main reason is not on the current protest. Although that we can see the retail trade has been slowing down a bit. Tourism is sort of weak. But the protest we have is actually all on Sunday. It doesn't affect the day-to-day living. But I think the reason our economic growth will go down is because of the US-China trade talk. Hong Kong is in the middle. We are both the gateway into and out of China. This is the main reason why our economy is very slow. A lot of people is just wondering what will happen to the end of this sort of trade war. We certainly hope they come out with some kind of a term. Because as a middleman, we're making profit when export, import, whether it's stocks, IPOs, or financing issues, we're sort of in the middle of the whole thing. I think the uncertainty with the US-China trade talk actually affects our economy right now, or our second quarter growth, more than the current sort of protest problem.